My name is Daniel. I am 38 years old. I live in a small town with my wife and our curious 8-year-old son, Leo. He is the kind of boy who asks 100 questions a day about the stars, the rain, and sometimes the strangest things. One warm summer night, we were sitting on the porch. The air was still, but mosquitoes were everywhere. Leo kept swatting them, frustrated, when suddenly he looked up and asked, "Dad, who made the first mosquito?" I smiled, surprised. It wasn't the kind of question you'd find in a school book. He looked so serious, waiting for my answer. I could have said, "It's just nature," and ended it there. But something about his eyes, full of wonder, made me pause. So, I decided to tell him a story. "All right, Leo," I said, leaning back. "Let me tell you about the first mosquito." He sat cross-legged, his eyes wide. "Long ago," I began softly, "when the world was still young, the sky had no stars, and the earth was peaceful. All creatures lived together, the birds, the lions, even the tiniest ants. But one thing was missing, a reminder of balance." Leo tilted his head. I said, "You see, people were kind back then, but they forgot gratitude. They had food, shelter, and peace, yet they complained. They forgot to appreciate small things. So," I continued, "the Great Spirit decided to teach them a gentle lesson. He called the smallest breeze and whispered, 'Go down to the earth and become something tiny, something that will remind people how fragile comfort can be.' The breeze turned into a small, buzzing creature, the first mosquito." Leo wrinkled his nose. "That's not fair. Mosquitoes hurt people." I laughed softly. "Yes, they do bite. But think about it. What happens when one bites you?" "I get angry," he said quickly. "Exactly," I said. "And then you slap it away. But after that, you start to cover yourself, take care, be alert. The mosquito reminds you, even small things have power." Leo went quiet. He was thinking deeply. I continued. "The first mosquito didn't want to hurt anyone. It only wanted people to remember that all life, big or small, has meaning. But humans got angry. They cursed the mosquito. They forgot the message. So the mosquito became what it is today, misunderstood, feared, and hated. But still, it keeps doing its job, reminding us that the tiniest things can still change our world." Leo looked at the air around him, where a mosquito buzzed lazily. "So, Dad, the mosquito is like a teacher?" "Yes," I said gently. "A very small teacher." He smiled, his frustration gone. "Then I guess I shouldn't kill it. I'll just ask it nicely to go away." I chuckled. "That's the spirit, son." We sat there for a while, watching the stars blink above us. The mosquitoes still hovered, but Leo didn't swat them anymore. He just waved them away gently, whispering, "Go teach someone else tonight." I watched him and felt something stir inside me. That small moment, that simple question, reminded me how pure a child's heart can be. Their curiosity is not just about knowing what things are, but why they exist. Sometimes we adults forget that. We rush, complain, and judge without understanding. But children, They see wonder where we see annoyance. They ask questions that open doors inside us we didn't know were closed. That night, before bed, Leo hugged me and said, "Thanks, Dad. I like your story." I smiled and kissed his forehead. Never stop asking questions, Leo. Curiosity is how we learn to love the world. He nodded sleepily. "Even mosquitoes?" "Even mosquitoes," I whispered. When he finally fell asleep, I looked at the tiny mosquito resting on the window. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel angry. I just smiled. Because now, every buzz reminded me of my son, and the lesson he helped me remember. No creature is useless, not even a mosquito. Everything has a purpose, even if we don't see it right away. And sometimes, a child's question can teach an adult how to be kind again. So, if a little one ever asks you something that sounds silly, don't laugh it off. Take a breath. Think. Maybe, just maybe, there's a lesson waiting inside that question.